Kia ora and welcome to the processing video of 5 Credit Internal. This one's going through Perfect Plumbing. Reminder, there are 3 parts in this. Firstly, you have to do the source documents. Secondly, you need to do the journals. And thirdly, you need to do the posting to the ledger and trial balance. This is a 15-minute video, so I'm not going to do all of it on here. I will send you the work and you need to press pause and catch up. First part is this part, which is the source documents. There are 3 source documents to do. First one is a tax invoice, a critical part to get this one right. The second part is the credit note, which is here, and the third part is the receipt. Why don't you go and get those 3 done and check it against the answers that I'll send you as well. Press pause and check at the end. Right, hopefully you got through the first bit, the easy bit, and that was the journals, the source documents. This is the second bit. And the second bit is the journals themselves. So there are a few steps. First step is you need to go through transactions here, and we need to separate the cash receipts against the cash payments. So what I asked you to do in class, and I'll get you to do now, is to highlight the cash receipts, the money coming in. So go through and we'll identify those and colour them yellow. So I'll just increase the layout so you can see what we're doing here. So we've got the money coming in. So this is the first one, which is the sales. So we're going to click on that and we're going to find our bucket and highlight it yellow. And I'd like you to go through and everything here that is going to be cash coming in, highlight that yellow. So press pause, go through that, and you can check that in a minute. Just have a look at yours, make sure they're the same as mine, press pause, and then fix up any mistakes. So the next step is to go through and put the yellow transactions in the cash receipts journal. So I'll go through our first few. So we've got the 2nd of April, press tab, then we've got plumbing fees. The reference to that is FPOS. It's unbanked. And we won't do the bank part yet. See on that day we've got 2 things. The next one's sales. Again, FPOS, and the unbanked amount is 688.40. So on that day through FPOS we got 2 transactions, so it'll show up as one figure in the bank. So add those 2 together. In the GST column, type equals, click on the unbanked figure times 3/23. And what you're going to do is you're just going to fill that down. And then we get on to the next one, which is cash received for sales. So that's a cash register tape, CRT, that figure 290. Because there's only one lot of cash come in, there's one figure that goes in the bank. So those 2 will reconcile that against the bank statement. All right, as we go through, it's very important that you group the FPOS together and the CRT together. If it's online banking, it doesn't go into the unbanked, that's our till, so that'll go straight into the bank account. The tricky one is on the 3rd, so we need to separate our 2 FPOS together and our 2 cash together. So why don't you go through and do that? Let's do the first few columns here and then press pause, check it against mine, and then we'll do the outer columns after. So hopefully you've completed yours and they look similar to mine. Very important that we check the GST, and the GST on plumbing fees and sales, but not the capital. So that capital, we should make sure that's a 0. Now we do the outer columns. So the easiest way to do the outer columns is do the plumbing fees, which is the most, your unbanked minus your GST. And if we fill that down, then anything that's not plumbing fees, we'll just drag across. So these ones here that are sales, the capital will just go in the other column, and we're looking for all the others. So if you can just drag those across to the right spot. Tools go in the other column because they're not sales. And we'll just auto sum down the bottom. Make sure you highlight right up to the top of the unbanked. and then fill across. All right, you can rewind and just check that. Key just really around this bank account is that two EFTPOS group together, so that comes together. The online banking goes straight into the bank. We've got two cash register tape here. One figure will make it to the bank statement. All right, so that's the first bit. Now we do the cash payments journal, which are those things that are not highlighted. The same process is we're going to put the date first, which is the 2nd of the 4th. We type out just the one word what it's for. In this case, it's just wages. And we use that for automatic payment, AP, and then the amount, 1322.45. All right, very important you know what has GST and doesn't. In this case, wages, there's no GST on wages. Remember there are 4 things there's no GST on: drawings, wages, interest, and bank fees, or loan repayments. So the bank fees and interest sort of go together. So why don't you go through and complete these ones? They're pretty simple. Make sure when we're just writing one word here, perhaps wages or tools, not too much. Go through and finish this one off using the information highlighted here, and you can check it against mine when you've done it. I'll just come back to this because it gets a little bit tricky. So do the tools to remember times 3 over 23, and you may as well fill that one down. And we can take off the GST where there is no GST. Note the next one is purchases. There's a little bit of an essay here about what you're buying, kitchen supplies, because we're a plumber, because it's for resale, that's called purchases. And then stationery after that. We'll do the other columns later. The next one's pretty tricky though. It's a telephone account on the 4th. We'll put the telephone in. And that was paid for using check 109. The amount that was paid was 230. So that full amount goes into the bank. But then it gets a little bit tricky. The GST is not quite right on this because half of it's personal. So we're going to put drawings underneath. And half of that 230, so 115 is personal. That means 115 belongs to the telephone account. So the telephone account is going to be equal to 115 divided by 1.15. $100 is the amount not including GST, and therefore the GST will be 15. So if you add up 115 plus 100 plus 15, that adds up to the 230. So part of that payment's got GST, that's the telephone account, and part of it doesn't, it's a drawings account. Okay, a little bit tricky. That's sort of the merit and excellence question. All right, why don't you carry on and do the last couple? Right, checking the work that you've done against mine. Note there's no GST on wages. There's a couple of those wages. And there's no other things that no GST on that drawings, of course. Note also that the tools, the stationery, both of those go in sundry column. They're not purchases. Purchases is what we buy in order to resell, and neither of those two were the same. So we've done the first bit, the journal bit. The next bit is we need to check off our bank account. This is the column here against our bank statement. This is a bank reconciliation part. So we'll do the cash receipts first, and we're just going to highlight them. So just check them off in both. See, this figure is in both here. So hold your control key down, and we'll just color them in. So we're looking for all of these. See the 1,000, the 1,000. Just keep holding that control key down. We've got the 290, 290. We're just trying to make sure that everything that money that's come in has actually made it to the bank, and the bank statement's evidence of that. 300's made it. All right, why don't you go through and finish that? Just press pause and finish that one off. Great. So what we're looking for is the things that are missing. So we can see here on the bank statement with $1,200 that's come in that we haven't recorded. So we're going to add that into our cash receipts. See that $1,200? So it's on the 3rd of April. So we'll put the date, the 3rd of April. And we're going to have a look at what it was for. It was for rent, so we're going to write rent in there. From the bank statement, BS, and I'm going to type equals and click on that 1200. In actual fact, it doesn't go in this column because that's our cash register. It goes in the bank column because it was an automatic payment coming into our account. We'll have to calculate GST on that. Again, times 3/23. And it's not these other columns, it's not plumbing fees or sales. So the rent will be exclusive of GST. Right, so now we can click that one off and hit 1200 off. You colour that in. This 88 here, that's money that we've received but hasn't yet made it to the bank. That actually comes into this part here, deposits not yet credited. So put your 88 in there. Deposits, money that we've received, not yet credited into our bank account. Then why don't we go and do the cash payments journal? So these figures here, we're ticking those off. So 132245, 132245, and we'll just colour those in. Why don't you press pause and go through and do that for all the debit column with the cash payments journal. Great, so you'll notice that in the bank statement there are 3 items that are not in the cash payments journal, so we need to add them in. We'll find the date when that happened. Oops. The first one's the loan on the 5th from the bank statement, and the amount that we paid off the loan. Second one is that electricity. Again from the bank statement. You could write DD there for direct debit. And the third one is the bank fees on the 6th. Now it's important with these ones to know what has GST or not. There's no GST on the loan, but there will be on the electricity. Times 3/23. Right, so all of these I think go in the last column. And just auto come that right to the top. Done. Awesome. So we've done the ones here, so we can click those ones off. You'll see that there are these 2 that we haven't marked off. So all these ones here are done. And so these here are payments that we've made that haven't made it to the bank yet. So we've got unpresented checks, number 108, and that's that amount, and number 109, and that's that amount. So we'll add those 2 together. Good. So just to finish this off, we need to look at the bank account, an opening balance in the bank account. At the start, our balance in the bank account was that 322.60. Then we had our payments. So we're going to write, we'll put our receipts in first actually. And this is the receipts that we got. We'll add those 2 together. And our payments. Take that away.